Amazon in 2025 is not the same as it was a few years ago. The old shortcuts, they're gone. And those easy wins, they're now crowded. But at the same time, the opportunity is better than ever if you know the right steps. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I would start again this year, step by step. I'll show you the strategies that I'd use, as well as what to avoid. And I'll also share the things that I wish people told me when I got started. And by the end of this, you'll know the exact roadmap you can follow to actually make an income selling the most boring but profitable products on Amazon in 2025. So let's get into it. The first thing I do is erase all of the bad information floating around online. Stuff like private label is the only way to win. You need thousands to even start. It's too late. Amazon is saturated. Here's the truth. Amazon is not saturated. What it is mature. That means if you do what people did 5 years ago, you're going to lose. But if you adjust to how the platform works now, you can still build something that makes real money. Think about it like a city. 10 years ago, Amazon was a brand new town. There were empty streets, wide open land. You could open a random shop and people would come in because there weren't that many options. But in 2025, Amazon is like New York City. There's packed streets, thousands of shops. And if you open a random lemonade stand, no one cares. But if you open the one shop that sells exactly what people are looking for, you win. If I was starting today, I wouldn't jump into private label or selling your own items under your own brand. You might be asking why? Because starting with private label is kind of like trying to launch your own clothing brand in New York on day one. It's expensive and it's absolutely risky. Instead, I'd start with the business model called wholesale. And here's why. The biggest thing is that you're selling products that people already know and already trust. You don't have to reinvent the wheel and the demand is already proven. And you can start with less money than people think. Here's an example. Imagine launching your own random yoga mat. Good luck competing with the 10,000 others that are already out there. Now imagine selling brands like Mattel toys or Crayola markers. These are brands that people already search for. Because of that, your odds of success just went way up. And that's why I choose wholesale FBA to begin with. Most people complicate product research with this. They're stuck for months scrolling, analyzing, second guessing. I like to keep it simple, especially when starting. So here's my process. Step 1, I use Amazon as my research tool. Step 2, look at the bestseller rank in popular categories like health, pet supplies, and kitchen. And then step 3, make a list of the products that match a very simple criteria. They got to be selling consistently, not just seasonal. Price between $15 to $80 and are sold by multiple FBA sellers. And here's the trick. If you see a listing where there are already 5 or 10 different sellers selling that item, that usually means that these brands allow wholesalers. That's your opportunity. Tools like Keep It make this a lot easier. With Keep It, I can see sales history going back a few years. It shows me if it sells year round and if Amazon hogs the buy box. Now, if the graph shows Amazon is always in stock and is selling it all the time, avoid it. And if it shows third-party sellers sharing the buy box, that's a winner. And look, this isn't about finding the next big thing. It's about finding products that sell quietly every single day. That's how you build repeatable, reliable income. So I've found products and brands that I want to sell. What's next? Contacting suppliers who stock those brands. When people find suppliers, here's what most people do. They send a sloppy email. It'll say something like, hey, can I sell your stuff on Amazon? And of course, they wonder why nobody responds to them. What I do is position myself as a partner, introduce myself briefly, explain I specialize in online retail, and offer to place a small initial order. Key is to make it about them, not me. And look, suppliers, they want to work with people who want to place orders and place them regularly. So as long as we do that and we move product, we're going to get along just fine. And look, this piece does take some persistence. You might email 20 different suppliers and get 2 responses. That's just part of the game. And also, it's kind of like dating. You don't marry the first person you go on a date with. Key is to keep showing up until you find the right fit who have the right products for you. Now, let's talk about money. The great thing about this model is you don't have to dump $10,000 into a single item. If you do that, that's just asking to get burned. So instead, we spread out multiple test orders. I'm talking about $500 to $1,000 ordering multiple different SKUs at the exact same time. That way, I get to see what actually sells, what I can easily get access to the buy box on as well, and that will then tell me what I should reorder. And what's great is that Amazon FBA makes the process of shipping things out to people so simple. You ship it to Amazon and they will handle the storage, the packing, and the shipping. Your job is to just monitor sales, see what works, and reorder. It's kind of like fishing. Don't just throw one big net in and pray. Instead, we throw in multiple lines and see which ones catch. Now, here's where so many beginners mess up. They make their first $1,000 in profit and instantly pull it out and pay themselves. sales. That's like eating the seeds instead of planting them for future growth. And if I could start over, I'd heavily reinvest my profits for at least the first 12 months. And then I'd take every dollar of profit and roll it back into stock again. We start small at first, but once it rolls, it really does compound fast. Month one, you could be at $1,000 in sales, but you keep investing and reinvesting. And over time, that could turn into 10, 15, 20, maybe even $50,000 plus per month. Another focus from day one are relationships. I'm not just talking about customers, more so actually I'm talking about suppliers. And you might be wondering why. Because the better the relationship you have, the better the pricing you get, the better terms you get, and also oftentimes you can get better access to exclusive products. I suppose it's like any other business. Your network is often your net worth. And if a supplier trusts you, they're going to give you first dibs on new inventory, and they're going to give you discounts when stock is limited. And look, it's not all sunshine. There are some challenges. Competition is tough. Sometimes margins can be thin, and Amazon is definitely adding in more rules over time. So look, if you try to cut corners and do anything shady, it's just going to lead to an account suspension. And when that happens, the game can be over. So how do you actually turn this into a real income? Well, you play the long game. We don't chase these get-rich hacks. Instead, we build a business based on 3 basic pillars: consistency over flash, brand relationships, and operational discipline. And most sellers don't do this, which is why the opportunity is still huge for those that do. So starting to sell on Amazon in 2025 is still one of the best opportunities out there. But you've got to play it smart. You've got to forget the hype. My recommendation is to focus on wholesale, test small, reinvest your profits, and then build those long-term relationships with suppliers. And that's the game plan I'd follow if I started all over again. So if you want to go deeper on this, I have a free resource for you. All you got to do is comment wholesale down below, and I'll make sure to send that over to you right away. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.